is inspirational.
Barbie
Is
is
pretty.
pretty.
Fantastic.
Barbie and beautiful.
Fabulous.
Barbie is hot.
Barbie is timeless.
Barbie is great.
Barbie is fierce.
Barbie's a superstar.
Barbie's the cat's meow.
First classic.
Barbie's blonde.
Ruth Handler and Harold Madsen launched Mattel, originally a picture frame company, in 1945. But the company's focus soon shifted to toys after Ruth and her husband Elliot began making dollhouse furniture from the frame scraps. Barbie emerged in the year 1959. Ruth Handler found that she wanted to change the way her daughter Barbara played with dolls. Barbara played with paper dolls and used her imagination to create scenes and stories for her dolls, and Ruth realized that imagination and experimentation were all part of the growing up process. And so, she focused on creating something tangible for her daughter, something almost real. Ruth also wanted to provide her daughter with a female role model, and with these ideas as driving forces, Barbie was created. Barbie was not only a symbol of empowerment, but of creativity. Barbie could do anything, be anything, and children all over the world soon found that they could as well. Even through all of Barbie's wardrobe and career changes, two things have managed to stay the same: her ability to spark the creative process in people all around the world, and the pink.
Barbie is the epitome of America. You think Barbie, you think America. It's just plain and simple. That's who she is. It's just that brand, Barbie. Barbie was just a doll to me. I mean, she just didn't really, as far as her being the doll, she was this glamorous figure that had all these awesome, cool wardrobe changes. She had different careers. Barbie, in a sense, was, she's timeless. She is inventive. She changed every single time. So it's really, just when Barbie changed, you kind of were like, oh, well, I want the new thing.
Oh, I think Barbie's all about American girls, little girls. Our culture changed in the 50s. I mean, we came from after World War II. 50s were pretty simple family life feeling, and the 60s started to change things. And the thing about Barbie is that she changed with the times. That's why she's still so popular. Because she didn't change women, she didn't make us who we are, she's a doll, but she stayed constant by staying current, if that makes any sense. And I think that she's been a big influence.
Barbie was the most influential doll in American history. I don't know about any other doll, I don't recall. I continue to see it as being a great influence in America. In itself, lifestyle and fashion and everything. It just represents what a little girl's playtime would be. The fact that she is, she has a Barbie. I don't think anybody right now who's from 5 to 12 doesn't have a Barbie in their home. So that says a lot. That's a big deal.
I do see, like when my daughters had Barbies or when they were playing with them, that they do reflect the times. I still have a book, it's in a box, on Barbie and different careers. In fact, I kept it because in one of them she's in an office. In the background are the Twin Towers in New York City. And I remember I was about to sell at a yard sale, and the woman who looked at it, this really kind woman who was about to buy it, said, "You might want to hold on to this." And I did. I thought, wow, there's something that's gone, and it's in this book. Barbie was a doctor, Barbie was a lawyer, Barbie did this, Barbie did that, and definitely Barbie in our culture, I think, reflects the times.
I would say Barbie is a mile marker in women's progression. If you look in the very beginning, she was just Barbie, and then Barbie was able to have a guy friend, and then she was able to have a car, and then a mansion, and a career, and all that stuff. So if you look at it, that coincides with what women were, or the realms of what women were able to do at the times.
I'm sure that Barbie has ended up in a lot of time capsules and backyards, and I think it just seems like a very I actually don't know if Barbie is all around the world. It feels like a very American term, but maybe it's much more beyond that, and I'm not even aware of it. But it feels very American pie-ish.
I think Barbie's a part of American culture because Barbie goes with the times. You know, she's reflective of just culture in general, how we perceive things, how we perceive women particularly. And I think now, I think Barbie it's actually amazing, I think, now, because Barbie shows that, you know, we're not just bound by traditional, you know, views and values. I mean, you have rock star Barbie, you have pop singer Barbie, like, you know, it's not just, you know, doctor, lawyer, this. So I think Barbie's kind of teaching girls that it's okay to go and do different things, being really expressive, being artsy. So I think she's reflective of American culture in that sense.
I play with Barbie. Actually, I have one Barbie, and we play with my sister and my uncle sent it to us from Australia. And she was a very beautiful Barbie. She had a very sparkle dress with stars. And when we were going to sleep, and her dress were all sparkling, and we turned off the lights when we were saying, "Oh my gosh, look at her! She's so beautiful. Look at her dress." And she said she had an umbrella, and the umbrella was sparkling also, and she was so beautiful. We couldn't take off our eyes from looking at her, but we couldn't touch her because she was so special to us.
We came as immigrants to America, so my mother never quite knew how important it was for a young girl to have a Barbie. But I was lucky, fortunate enough to have friends that had Barbies. So every time we had a play day, we made sure that these Barbies came along with my friends, and we would play for hours. I remember changing them, putting new outfits together, shoes, purses, the whole girly thing, and we enjoyed every minute of it.
Barbie was, I think, the best actress, you know, in my own little world. She pretended to be, like I said, a businesswoman. Then she was a mom. Then she was a bride. And then she was, you know, this damsel in distress. She was many things for many different reasons. So she was very important to me in that sense of my imagination. And my world was, you know, Barbie's world.
I'd play Barbies with one of my closest friends, and we'd always first dress them up and we'd discuss which Barbies we were going to be acting out. And she, for some reason, always seemed to like to make the Barbies cry and be very dramatic. And I'd really get mad, and I'd say I never wanted to play with her again because Barbie always cried when I played with my friends.
I used to play with them and try to see if Barbie could stick a landing. So I'd put them on the banister, the stairs, and they'd fly down. And after their heads flew off, I tried to glue them back on and give them new haircuts to go along with it. And I used to always change their clothes. There was not a day that went by that I didn't change their clothes, because I thought it was all about evolution and, you know, just changing Barbie.
I used to change her hairstyles, which isn't a good idea to comb a Barbie's hair because it never goes back. And then they came out with the Barbies that had the hair that grew, so that was fun and awesome. And then they got off just the ponytail styles and started other styles. But it was mostly about the clothes and the shoes. Always about the clothes and the shoes.
I love dressing her. I love combing her hair and washing her hair. And I was pretty rough on her, you know. So just doing what little girls do, you know, dressing them up, taking the clothes off. And I also dyed my Barbie's hair with paint.
I remember, for some reason, I never had a Ken doll. And I was all like, well, Barbie has to have a boyfriend. So I decided to take one of the dolls that I really wasn't, it was like, not Barbie, it was Barbie's friend that I wasn't so fond of. And I said, well, I'm just gonna cut her hair. So I totally gave her a buzz cut, super short, and it was all spiky. And I said, okay, well, this is gonna be Barbie's friend, Joe. And I didn't have Ken, so I had a Joe for a while, and then I got bored of her, and I was like, I can toss her.
All my Barbies got haircuts in the end. I think I ended up with 18 of them. I think when I moved to college, I was like, oh, I've got 18 Barbies in this trunk. And they all had at some point a haircut. Yeah.
Cutting hair was just, no, I never played that way. I never wanted to alter her look because I just thought Barbie was beautiful. And I never took scissors to any Barbie whatsoever, or any doll for that matter. But I did get creative as far as the outfits that I assembled and put together for her.
They were so special to us, and we didn't, well, we combed their hair, but we didn't change clothes because she was all sparkling. We couldn't change her clothes. She was so interesting. We really liked that Barbie. It was special.
I would go to my cousin's house and we'd play with Barbies and we'd pretend like, oh, she had boy Barbies too, so we'd say like, oh, she's not with him, and let's drive in the Barbie convertible and leave him. So we'd do that kind of like leaving the guys suck and girls rule, let's party or something. So that's how we would play with them. And then I would always come back from school and I love to dress them up in different outfits. Like, I wouldn't really play with them. I just like, oh, this will look cute. Oh no, let's take this off. This will go better. So yeah, I had like a inner stylist in me.
I did. I made a lot of stories. Particularly, there were a lot of stories with Ken. There were a lot of like fairy tale princess love stories. I don't know why, but there were a lot of those. And I remember thinking when I was like younger, like, oh, I'm so jealous of Barbie. She has Ken, and I wish I could have a Ken one day. And yeah, and I don't know why that I thought like that when I was like 5, but I did. And yeah, I mean, the stories were all like romance and love stories, so it's kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, I had a lot of like action figures, and they were like all over the place. They were like G.I. Joe and Star Wars and He-Man, things like that. So I would break them up, and they would fight all the time, and like they'd have battles and stuff. So like Chewie versus G.I. Joe, and they would fight, and it was heated. And now and then they would like chip and break, and arms fall off, and things like that. So what I would do to make it up to them, I took like the injured, and I would grab her Barbie, and I put them in a shoebox together, kind of like some alone time, like to heal.
What?
And you put it on, and you put that in the closet, and I would like just go get a sandwich or something, like 10 minutes in heaven with Barbie. So just to show no hard feelings.
That's what the Barbies were missing all the time.
That's why I still can't find Skipper.
That's why all the Barbies are smiling, by the way.
So when I was a kid, I wouldn't just play with my Barbies by themselves. I would take all my other toys and I would put them all together in Barbie's dream house. So I would take my dogs, and my Beanie Babies, and all these action figures from other shows that I watched, and I would put them all together and like create this family. And I would give them identities and like create different characters, and that really helped me creatively because it inspired me to start writing about these characters and creating backstories and like writing stories for them, and eventually that turned into me drawing characters and writing comics. So Barbie really sparked like the creativity in me.
My Barbie dream house is an actual dream house. I got it as a kid one Christmas, and to this day I still have it in its finest form. It's up in my closet, folded away, so I'm gonna keep that secret to myself that I have that Barbie dream house, and I could put it together with my eyes closed. That's how good I am with it.
Well, I was lucky enough that everybody played with Barbies, so we would gather all our Barbies together, and somebody would have the Barbie house, and someone would have the Barbie car, and then somebody got Ken for Christmas, and we all got to play together. So
the first time I was 6, and I went and found my sister's Barbie, and I knew I was not supposed to touch that Barbie doll. But my sister had wandered off somewhere, and she'd left the Barbie and all the clothes scattered in a room, so I sat on the floor and tried on different outfits. I was really fascinated.
You know, I grew up in China, so I came here when I was 16 years old. So I didn't play with Barbie until I was 16 years old. And the first time I played with Barbie is when I was babysitting a friend's daughter, and she was 9 years old, I think. And then she brought over this Barbie and with lots of accessories, lots of fashion, shoes, and then we played together. And then that was amazing because I never played with Barbie, and that was so fun. I thought it was really fun to putting on clothes, style her hair, and putting on different shoes. So we played for hours. So that was the first time.
After I stopped really playing with Barbie, I wanted to take them to the next level and do something really creative with them as an artist. I did make one into an alien, and I made her aluminum foil suit. So cut all her hair off, and I painted big black eyes on her. And then I made her outfit out of aluminum foil. I think I gave her little nostrils too.
Julie Allen is an independent Australian artist who has found her artistic muse in Barbie, modifying the iconic dolls into her own characters and designs. These beautiful dolls get uniquely recreated, acquiring a skillfully repainted face, dyed and restyled hair, and even handmade clothing. And although Julie's passion for doll makeovers ranges to various brands, Barbie takes first place in her stylish reworkings. Talk about your ultimate Barbie makeovers.
I've been blessed with a little girl myself, and unlike my mother, I knew how important it was for a little girl to have a Barbie. I think every little girl in her heart wished she could have a Barbie. And anyways, I made sure that my daughter did have Barbies, and she would play for hours. It was just this mindset of imagination and creating outfits. My daughter especially loved creating wedding gowns for Barbie. Another thing that Katerina did, I remember, was she was very artistic, and she still is. One day in the neighborhood, there was a magnolia tree, beautiful rose-colored magnolias. And the blossoms had fallen, so what my daughter did on a nature walk, we collected some things, and she came home and she designed a dress for Barbie, which actually I still have the photo on my cell phone. And this dress looked so beautiful that we propped Barbie up on our counter, and she was the center of attraction for at least 2 weeks, I'd say.
I think I see like the beauty in things, not just in art, but just other, not drawing art, but other artistic forms like, people's fashion, their way of expressing themselves. So Barbie was a way, I guess it was an outlet as a kid to express yourself how you wanted to be. I mean, she had these fabulous dresses, and I always wanted to play dress up in these big dresses. And even to this day, like when you see those glamorous dresses, everyone is in awe of all that. And I just think that Barbie, she did a lot of that. That influence.
I could say that's where I started putting myself in that position. Like Barbie was me in the future. Business Barbie, that was me. And I think that'd be nice. I feel that that's a really nice thing that we do as when we have dolls and stuff. If you want to be a doctor, you kind of want to put them in a doctor suit, right? I wanted a business, Barbie, because that's what I wanted to be. And I think I found my calling through the little things that I did when I was a child, and Barbie was part of that because I imagined her having a company and, working Barbie. And that's what I've done now with my life. It put me in a situation where I could live that life as a child going towards my years as an adulthood.
I don't know, the black Barbie, I took her head off. Not that I hate, myself. But she was just, I guess, she couldn't be the alien. So creatively, since I never paint ugly objects or anything, I wanted to see how ugly I could make her. So I cut all her hair off, stuck a toothpick through her head, and I stuck a spider in her mouth. I know it sounds awful now. So creatively, she was the one that that was the one I liked the most, because I felt like I was so creative and dark with that one. So I kept that for a long time.
I think Barbie impacted me in the sense that she's a perfect example of, being bold. So in terms of my art and the art that I do, I like being very bold and expressive and kind of taking things to a whole new level, which I think Barbie always did. She wasn't just static. She was always changing and evolving. And I think for me as an artist, personally, that's very important. It's very important to change and to grow. And I think that I drew that from Barbie, and the fact that why should you stay one style? Why should you do only one thing? Just keep growing, keep evolving, keep getting better.
Artistically, I would say, as far as the way she dressed, my sister, it had an effect on my sister's artistic perspective, because she would dress her all the time. I guess kind of set the tone for what I felt style was at the time.
As a guy, you just kind of learn from Barbie, like, oh, that's what chicks are into. It's got to be pink and frilly and pink.
I think definitely there has to be some inspiration there, because for a young girl to play with Barbie, and throughout the years how they present Barbie as being successful and independent. She had her own car, she had her own home. So I definitely think that influences a lot of young girls. So when they grow up, I mean, this is what they aspire to have themselves. A good job, good education, their own car, their independence, and of course, hey, if they can get their own home too, that's awesome.
Definitely, I would let my kids play with Barbies. It's just a great way for them to even use their imagination with acting things out. And I never saw Barbie, even to this day, I don't see her as something like, oh, she's just, not the ideal woman or the figure of a woman. It's a toy. It's meant for kids to enjoy. And even as a kid, I never saw Barbie as anything other than a toy and this thing that I possibly could have wanted to be as an adult, but never as something negative. She was never anything negative in my life, even to this day.
My daughter is all Barbie all the time. It's interesting how Barbie has turned into a verb, I would say. It's before I just thought it was the name of this doll, but now it seems like an action that my daughter and her friends do. They're like, well, let's play Barbie, or let's play Barbies. How do they say it? I think they say, yeah, let's play Barbie.
Yes, and I think she's remained influential over the last 56 years. Kids still play with Barbie. As a matter of fact, my daughter has a collection of Destiny Barbie dolls that's still in the box, saving those because they're so special. So yeah, they're still special. She's still out there.
Just probably going to open a lot more doors for girls and kids in general, because today women can do anything, men as well, but more so now, like, women can be whatever they want to be. And I think Barbie could be like, we could have an army Barbie, or President Barbie, or something like that.
I would definitely try to have her as a woman who's looking ahead to the future, instead of maybe reflecting the culture now, maybe reflecting what we'd like to see happen. Maybe in her environment, reflecting what we're hoping for our environment, maybe, in business, having her reflect where we'd like to see women and where we'd like to see their roles expand, because we still have some work to do.
I think Barbie definitely empowers women in the sense that she's like an icon, She kind of proves that there are no boundaries or limits to what any girl can do. You can be anything, and why should you not be anything? So I think that even though Barbie has all these different jobs and different careers, I think it kind of teaches girls that it's okay to do what you want to do in life and be who you want to be.
Barbie's slogan is "I can be anything." So Barbie can be anything girls can imagine. So there's really no limit, and the girls actually experience the life through Barbie. So that's why it's so influential to girls, and the girls not only experience the fashion, play with the hair, but also experience the job when they grow up, what they wanted to be, and there's no limit, and Barbie takes them to that.
For Barbie now, it seems very, what's the word when you are, it seems very versatile. It seems like there's so many different Barbie. And I think for when I was a kid, very blonde.
From the past, she was a comfort zone. She was a step back from my reality and gave us the time to fantasize about what would be. So one word, I'm not doing really well in one word. I don't know. Important. I think she was important.
Barbie is legendary and Barbie is glamorous.
Fantastic. Timeless. She's epic.
She's very classy. Present, I think she is fantastic. And I think future, she will be bold.
I think she will be evergreen.
Barbie is everywhere. Barbie's everywhere.
Contemporary.
I'm saying that Barbie is timeless. Barbie will always be around, and I think especially little girls, they'll have a special place for Barbie in their hearts, and definitely always remember their fun playtime with Barbie.
Barbie has managed to do it all. She has influenced. She has created. She has shaped. Barbie will always remain an icon. She has influenced the past, the present, and will continue to shape the future. She has the whole world in her hands, and it is a very big